next reader is our very own Hemingway scholar, Ron McFarland. Ron McFarland teaches a variety of literature and creative writing courses at the University of Idaho. His most recent books are a biography of Lieutenant Edward J. Steptoe, 1815 to 1865, and appropriating Hemingway, using him as a fictional character, 2015. Ron will be reading a brand new poem titled The Illustrious Defeat of Lieutenant Colonel Edward J. Steptoe in the Washington Territory, May 17, 1858. Not only is it a brand new poem, but it connects with his new book, Edward J. Steptoe and the Indian Wars, Life on the Frontier, 1815 to 1865. Please join me in welcoming Ron McFarland.
I don't even have to thank Jennifer Hawk, because I've been thanking her incessantly in email several times a day for the last month or two. So she's done it all, folks. Everything you see here and everything you will see in days to come. So if everything falls apart, it's also her fault. This is a poem that pretty much recaptures my book, and so if you want to save $40 buying the book, you just pay attention to the poem. About the only thing it leaves out is the Mexican War. I tried to get it in there, but didn't squeeze in. It's just a little longer than the title. The illustrious defeat of Lieutenant Colonel Edward J. Steptoe in the Washington Territory, May 17, 1858, has an epigraph by Father Jose, Jesuit priest, that reads, "His retreat will do him infinite honor." How the hell, he must have wondered, pinned down on that hilltop, how the hell did I get here in the Washington Territory, dry-throated, ammo running low, my boys dropping and moaning and night coming on? He may have let his mind wander back to West Point. That morning he read of his comrades dead in the Florida Palmetto, with Major Dade massacred, or years later his classmate, Captain Gunnison in Utah Territory, massacred, or Lieutenant Grattan and his command outside Fort Laramie in '54, massacred. Or maybe deep in his cerebral cortex, as his physician father would have put it, images of his favorite sister Nanny welled up, and Western Virginia in autumn, his favorite season, his brothers Patrick and Jack and high-toned William, who wanted to come out west and join him. The Pacific West, he wrote back home, had become a refuge for bad, unscrupulous men. It is too late to make a fortune here. The winter of '58 had preyed on him, had plagued him with catarrh, left him dispirited, despite his claims of good health overall. Age and death must overtake us all sometime. He made no mention of his stroke, but wrote of the fleeting of shadows. How he wished he'd married, how he realized now he'd wasted his life in the army, a lonely military Arab, unsuited for soldiery, a frontier bachelor nursing regrets at age 43. He wrote of Providence without optimism. His religion, he said, had been but a spasm. And what could he say of this furious enemy looming there in the dark? Palouse, Yakima, Coeur d'Alene, Spokane. He had brought them together, united them with an irony he could not quite appreciate. Hadn't he tried to do well by them? Hadn't he tried to keep the settlers, gold miners, road builders out of their lands? Why couldn't they understand? Most likely his mind was absorbed by matters more immediate, closer to hand. Whether to mount a last bold stand, to expire, one might cliche, with one's boots on, to fight to the last brave man, or whether to break out come midnight and charge hell for leather downhill, taking whatever Coeur d'Alene got in their way, or whether to slink off quietly as they did, leaving pack animals and random spoils to the Indians as they galloped back to the river. General Scott would call his defeat a disaster. 7 years later, he passed away, 6 months after the death of his 2-year-old daughter. Thank you.